Just who the heck does James Comey think he is? Is he somewhere above God? First, he intervenes in the presidential election to clear Hillary's name in the email scandal. And he rules that she was careless but cannot be prosecuted, the ruling. Then he intervenes 2 weeks before the election to say, oh, wait a minute, we have new evidence, maybe she can be prosecuted. Then he intervenes 3 days before the election to say, oh, wait a minute, false alarm, we looked at all the stuff, there's nothing there. I mean, talk about influencing the election. Then he gets this dossier that's filled with garbage about Donald Trump, and he decides to send it to the president, to the leaders of Congress, and then takes it upon himself to brief Donald Trump about it. And, of course, when you brief it that widely, it gets out and it goes into the media, which he knew damn well it would. Then he goes into all these meetings with his boss, the President of the United States, and he takes notes, he does memos of them, of each meeting. He says to protect himself, I don't think it was to protect himself, it was to get Donald Trump, which he obviously wanted to do because he had moved that dossier, which in 5 minutes he would have found out were lies, and he put that out so that it would get in public. Then he takes his memos and he sends them to a friend of his, a law professor at Columbia, who leaks them to the media. And he does that knowing full well, and admitted in his testimony, that the reason he did that was to spur the momentum to name a special prosecutor. So in effect, he's making all the decisions for the United States. Now, first of all, there's one very separate question here. I think James Comey should be indicted for leaking. I think the head of the FBI is not above the law. And if it's illegal for a reality winner to leak material, the NSA employee, then it sure is illegal for the head of the FBI to do it. And we have to assume that if this was not an isolated leak, if the pattern is that he leaks, and he leaked this and he will leak other stuff, he probably is the source for a whole lot of the news stories that have been going after President Trump. So, of course he needed to be fired. Of course it's the right decision to fire him. It amounts to an insubordination akin to General MacArthur's insubordination of President Truman in Korea, which resulted in his being fired. You simply can't let your FBI director just run loose and run havoc all over you. You don't want to get into the situation that Bill Clinton permitted himself to get into before 9/11. You could do that, but you can't now. Louis Freeh, the FBI head, was investigating Clinton for a dozen different things, and they solved the problem by never talking to each other. For 6 years, Freeh and Clinton never spoke. They almost never saw each other except in passing. You can't do that in this age of terror. The FBI director is one of the 2 or 3 or 4 key people in keeping the country safe. And it is just outrageous that this guy was the leaker. What we're dealing here with is an egomaniac run wild. And I don't mean Donald Trump. I mean James Comey. Thanks for watching.